Great evening, everyone. So, you want to know something crazy? I said this the first time when they were talking about transgender reassignment for children. I don't even remember. It was like 10 years ago was the first time I heard about it. And people were like making jokes about it. Now, we've gone through the change where they try to normalize it. Now people are finally waking up, but people still have sympathy for these people. They need to be treated like any other mental illness. You know what I mean? Have empathy for them. Don't have sympathy for them. Don't sympathize and like continue their mental illness. Just, hey, this is the problem. We're gonna fix it. Hey, all right. But the first time I heard that, I was like, you know what? The reason they're trying to do that, because eventually they're gonna say robots. You can transition or identify as a robot, or eventually like they're trying to do, put consciousness into robots and all that, then they'll be like, oh, well, robots need equal rights too. No. Especially with this whole AI and this digital freaking takeover that they're trying to do, mass surveillance. Like, if it wasn't for people with common sense who actually do things, farmers, the whole blue collar industry, you know what I mean? It's nice sitting behind a desk, but trust me. They say stonemasons are some of the meanest people you ever met. Every stonemason's an asshole. It's probably true. When we're not working, you know what I mean. We're probably enjoying. But anyway, the hard work that people do and like no one appreciates, and they were just like trying to shove in all this mental illness, all this illusionary like programming your children to think all these things are acceptable. That's totally ungodly, goes against creation, goes against the founding fathers, goes against your mother and father, what they taught you. But they were like trying to hijack our schools. I mean, we know for a long time they've been trying to do it since Rockefeller, but hey, now they're like literally, the good thing is they're passing all these laws. No transgenders. There's many states that ban transgenders reassignment for children. Hey, that needs to be treated as a mental illness. No men and women's sports, especially in the Olympics. Uh, personally, you know what I mean? I have maybe a few, not even a few anymore, but I've worked with a lot of gay people, especially when I was serving. You meet all kinds of people. I used to be a busboy, a server, so you meet people everywhere. And I've worked with gay people. I still have friends that are gay, but you know what I mean? Like, they know, like, hey, I have my flaws, they have their flaws. We don't talk about that, but to try to push transgender and gay people like raising children, no, I think a mother and father should be in every child's life. I don't know. I'm not saying that all gay people molest children, but why would you want to teach children that it's okay to be gay? Like, it doesn't make sense. That's how you lower your bloodline. When you become gay and you don't reproduce, that's how your bloodline decreases. And then they want to try to teach the new generation that's going to lower it even worse. You know what I mean? Like, come on now, it's common sense. We all have our own uh, problems. I idolize Saint Michael. You think that's healthy for me to be around children with the mentality I have? Like, we need to punish these demons all day. I don't idolize Saint Michael, but I think about him a lot. I don't idolize anyone. I try not to. But, there's different, like, I wouldn't be a good father now. I have a lot of trauma and past events that I need to address. So everyone has all their problems, but the way that the world is, they're trying to sneak in this equal rights for everyone. No, like, God didn't give everyone equal rights. He wants you to have equal rights, but if you are a demon, then you're going to return to Sheol. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to teach children all these bad things and you call yourself a teacher, refer to James chapter 3. Especially with the globalists. We know what the world looks like, but they all live on a globe, hiding stolen technology, living on a Rothschild banking system, still using the Rockefeller indoctrination, which took over the medical industry, the education industry, the fuel industry. the travel industry, basically everything. We still live in that world. Our history, we don't even live in a real timeline or a real calendar. We don't use the sun, the moon, and the stars to track time anymore. Like, that's why everything's so messed up. I believe they've added even 1,000 years to our timeline, and they thought that we wouldn't notice it. But anyway, long story short, what they were trying to do is give everyone equal rights. Yeah, everyone deserves equal rights. Everyone deserves to have the pursuit of happiness. But if you don't act right, like that's like saying, oh, this convicted felon who's been fucking doing the same shit, been in and out of prison for 30 years, or 30 more than 30 times, he deserves equal rights. No. What happens in prison? You know what I mean? Like, that's why God gives us free will. Everyone has free will. But the equal rights thing, like, you guys need to be careful with that. Everyone deserves to live happy. But equal rights, if you're coming here, if you violate laws, whether they're civil laws, common laws, God's laws, biblical laws, constitutional law, and then you still want equal right, well, your equal right is to be treated properly. Like, hey, this is what you did, so here's the punishment. The equal opposite reaction. That's what you guys should expect with equal rights. Expect an equal opposite reaction. And I'm doing the same thing. I pray, I'm thankful, I'm blessed for every day, I'm grateful for every day. I'm working on my habits and my struggles and my attitude and my thoughts and my mouth and everything, my body. But just everything is, expect an equal and opposite reaction. You know what I mean? That's why, like, if you don't do it right, then expect something wrong. Don't expect. It's like putting your hand on the stove and expecting not to get burnt when you know the stove is on. Like, you know, that. So again, they were trying. This is like, even in the movies, Hollywood always tries to project. That's why I quit watching movies. Hollywood. Unholywood is what they should call themselves. But anyway, it's all about normalizing death, basically. Death and lowering the values in families, whether it's abortions, gay marriages, you know what I mean, the transgender stuff. Just look at the fatherless children and that are poverty stricken. It's not white, black, Mexican. It's just if you're cheap, if you're fucking broke your whole life, you know what I mean, and you don't have a father in your life, then that's gonna make you want to fucking provide for your family from a young age, especially if you're cheap. Like, you taught how to fucking save money, how to prepare for this, how to save that. So I don't blame. It's not just like this or that, but it's the system in general, the Rockefeller system, the medical system, the propaganda especially. But pray for the people who represent you properly, who honorably do their jobs. They took and swore that oath properly, and they meant it to represent we the people and to defend us and our property, not the special interests, because they're all public servants and they work for us. So we need to just keep reminding them their positions and their roles, and eventually we're going to have more like-minded people who are going to be in our government, and they're going to be there to do their jobs properly, not just to govern the mind, not to control the mind. That's what government literally means, where it stemmed from, but that's not their job. So I say I don't believe in government. I don't really believe in government like that. That's what I don't believe in. I believe in we the people. Because God, man, government. So all the things that we've been taught, and you know what I mean, it comes from ignorance, and it comes from the whole everyone living on a globe and not knowing where they live. Because if you don't know where you live, you don't know the foundation of our realm where we live, how God spoke it from the beginning. He gave us a clock. He told us how he created the world. He separated us. You know what I mean? then you'll believe anything. You'll believe the government telling you that they're going to be disclosing all their freaking secret technologies and alien encounters, but it's all been redacted and they're just lying because they still believe in gravity and heliocentric sorcery. Lying about the extra terra, the land beyond, the people, the extraterrestrials. The Roswell, they created aliens. Area 51, that was all for fucking propaganda and money to make you believe in a globe even further, to forget about the real extra terra. When God separated us, I think God was like, that's enough. You guys are doing way too much. You got animals mating with humans. You got giants doing this. You got monsters doing that. Lizards doing this. Blah. He was like, all right, we're going to separate you guys and we're going to start over. And that's what I believe from the beginning is what God meant on day one. Like, because back in the day, people, they probably didn't have time and day and all that. He was like, all right, we're going to build a freaking clock structure. We're going to enclose this. We're going to put a dome up there. I'm going to sit on top of it. I'm going to watch you guys. He chopped down the trees later. Like, you guys need to actually look into his, into Jesus' story, into God's story, not his story. With two S's, his story. The NASA version of history. His story. It's written by the victors who conquered and stole and destroyed. Everywhere you look, it's all old monuments that have been destroyed, all the old mountains that have, all the old pyramids that got grown over, not all of them. A lot of those are just chopped down trees, and a lot of the pyramids, it's actually, the mountains are actually pyramids. Mountains and pyramids are the same thing. Not all of them, but a lot of them were before, because God probably so many times, I don't know how many times, before he separated us, finally. But that's my belief, that's my opinion. If we learned about things, and, or at least, hey, because the first time, I see it every time. Every time I tell someone, hey, the earth is not a globe. It's not spinning anywhere. The sun is not 93 million miles away. We're not orbiting around the sun 93 million miles away at 66.6 thousand miles per hour, while the sun is moving at 500 million miles per hour, 500 million, 500,000, I don't care. It's all pseudoscience. And all that's moving at another freaking 500,000 billion miles per hour. Plus, we're spinning at our axis at a freaking 1,000 miles per hour. But if you go look at the lake, you can see perfectly close, still clouds, the sun, the moon, and the stars. You can see the reflection. Nothing's moving. We are stationary. If you feel the earthquake, you feel it. Oh, wow, the earth is quaking. We're not... And you're going to say, oh, well, gravity holds it all together, and we're in a... Wherever have you seen where you can contain pressure, where you can have pressurized gas without a container? Where does that exist? If you need gas for your grill, I said, bring it to me without a container. What would you do? You'd be like, that's insane. Of course it is. You need a container for anything that's pressurized, but we live in a pressurized... I don't even believe in it, so I'm starting to forget how stupid it is. What else? The sun that's in a vacuum container, but it's so what do they say? It's nothing happened and exploded into everything, and then we got trapped into a vacuum. Like, physicists and pseudoscientists, that's all so stupid to me. People are like fanboys. Those are like, you guys sound like nerd comic book, like comic book. I'm a comic book nerd too, but like, you sound like way worse than that. Like, fucking sound like Barney, for real. Like, not cool. Like, remember when you forgot about Barney? You still watch Barney? Remember getting made fun of for still watching Barney? I did. How can a sun be burning in a vacuum? If you put a lid on a container, if you light a candle and you put a lid on it, the fire goes out. If you see the moon, how can the moon be so far away? But when the moon is shining, when the moon is full, you can see the clouds right behind it, the clouds in front of it, and you can see the moon. So you can tell the moon is right exactly where those clouds are. It's a stationary, or it's a local moon. Gives us every month our moon cycles. I just think it's gonna be easier once people finally admit it and drop their egos. And I need to drop my ego too, because I know way too much in my head and I don't have the patience to try to explain it all, and I get frustrated. And that's what I'm working on as well. But if people started, the best way, I'm telling you, go read the Bible and learn about creation literally, and figure it out. You know what I mean? Go to flatearthdave.com with an open mind and take his 2-week challenge. Watch his video of the day for 2 weeks. Come up with your globe proof if you think you can. But you got to go through his frequently asked questions, because he's got probably, I don't know, the list used to be 20 frequently asked questions. I think it's up to like 50 frequently asked questions, close to that something. And go through it like all seasons, Coriolis, this, that. And then he's going to give you real scientists who actually disprove the theory that you're going to try to use to prove the globe theory. And then once you do all that, if you still have one globe proof, because we've been looking for one globe proof for almost 10 years now. I don't know how long the app's been around, but I knew since a child that NASA was fake and gay. All my girlfriends, they used to call me, I was freaking the most random person they ever met, because I was always talking about the sky and telling them how fake NASA is and showing them, see how this is photoshopped, you see how this, like, how do you know all this? Because this is my freaking eyes work. But after all that, if you can still have come up with one proof, then he'll give you 3 Bitcoins. And you better do it quick, because Bitcoin's not going to be worth that much soon. So, in conclusion, honor your mother and father. That's the first thing you do. Even if your mother and father were horrible parents, just honor them and give them their, be grateful to them and pray for them. Honor them, honor God, knowing that your God, your Father in heaven, will set them straight, will do what he has to do, intervene in their life and humble them and return, so they can return back to him and have a relationship with the Father. That's the best way, the easiest way, because most problems start with family problems, and then it stems out to your friend problems, then your work problems, then anyone you see problems. So just pray for your families. God bless you, and go do your own research for real. And when you do go to the flatearthdave.com and you decide to buy the app, because all of this is free, but if you buy the app, then you'll have access to everyone this is like a collective that's all been coming together trying to share as much information as we can about the old world, old technologies, electromagnetism, buoyancy density, just like there's homeschooling, there's so much stuff on there, it's incredible. You could buy it, you get access to that, and then if you want to pay for a 1-year membership, then you can start messaging people, and because they have job boards, because people don't want to work with globers anymore, they want to work with people who know how the world works. There's people who are hiring, who are starting jobs, who need help, who are looking for jobs, all that. There's a dating app on there. Babies are being made because of this. So, and when you go do it, put in my referral code, my referral code concern, because I always tell people to do it, and I'm sure they've used it 1,000 times, but if I'm not there sitting there watching them do it, then they won't give me the points for it. So, but in fact, go do it, and hopefully I start getting my points. Have a wonderful day.